Hey, hey, hey! Hello, hello! Welcome to this live stream. Thanks for joining. Hopefully you can hear me and see me okay. And if you can't, you can let me know in the chat. But everything seems to be hopefully working on my end. I will do the usual little tour of what I'm using and bits and pieces. If you're new around here, thanks for joining live. I see a bunch of people already popped in, which is great. I am streaming on 4G, like I like to remind people. So who knows what might happen. The rain has been heavy today, and that can affect the stream. So I'm really hoping things go well, but we'll see. Um, Otherwise, looks like all's fine. You can at least hear and see me. You can let me know of any adjustments along the way, but otherwise, audio is a bit low. I can always crank it just a little bit. I don't want to adjust too much because well, I guess I'll get to the tour of things in a minute or two. There's a lot to discuss today. Anyway, if you are new around here, the way this thing works in the live stream is we do a main show and then a post show. The main show is going to be for the next 30 minutes or so, and then I'll take a 30-second break and then get back in again for the main show right after that. I'm going to take you through a few little bits and pieces of what I'm using here today. First of all, actually we can just get to that right now because I have a camera here that I can show that on. Yes, here we go. This is my little behind the scenes cam. So you can see things are similar-ish to where they've been before. Oh, I got distracted instantly there. Someone just gave me a super chat. That is crazy. Let me just pop back into the main shot here and take that out. Let me see. I don't think it's actually even made it yet to H2R graphics. Let's see here. From Matthew, thanks for all your hard work. You didn't say hard. Thanks for all your work you do for the community. That's very generous of you. I really appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in and the super chat. Really nice of you. I will get back to my tour, but I appreciate it very much. So just a quick little note on how I'm showing chat in general is I have my H2R graphics running over here, just showing me the chat, and then it's going into the ATEM, which is what I'm using today, the ATEM Mini Extreme. So it's actually doing recording and streaming today. It's sort of the full job. If you watched last week's stream, you'll see that I used the ATEM Mini Extreme as my sort of secondary switcher, and then the ATEM Mini Pro was the streaming switcher. But this time I just thought I'd go all in. That's why maybe things are a little bit rougher around the edges today. The setup looks pretty similar to last time. Only one camera today. I thought that would be enough. Well, including this one. But I thought one camera would be enough for today. But I've got my big multi-view right in front of me. I've got my laptop over here to show off lots of bits and pieces. I'm just keeping an eye on some of the chat here on the iPad that's just sitting slanted there. And then, yeah, the Mini Extreme is doing all the work. I only really filled up 3 inputs plus the 4th with graphics. So it's not being used to its full extent today. But I must say I really liked this. I probably will use this a lot, the DSK1 on-off button. I've already used that today. And I've also already gotten confused between all the buttons today. I was thinking like this was audio, and then I was pressing it and it wasn't doing anything. So yeah, I guess that'll take a while to get used to the audio slash video slash all the buttons on there. But enough of that shaky camera for now. I'll just put that out of the way. So maybe you're here for, I guess that you're here for the main sort of the main show. So we'll get straight to the brand new product, which I'm really excited to get going for today. H2R Super. What do I call it? There's definitely H2R on there somewhere. H2R SuperSource Layouts is its current name. So I built this project. I guess I could show you it right now. Let's turn off the DSK, and then I'll cut to that shot. I'm doing this a little bit blind here, but yeah. So this is the project as you see it, H2R SuperSource Layouts. And what I saw instantly whenever I was using SuperSource, which is something I have certainly used in the past before, but it's something I'm using more and more now, especially to make all these videos about it. But I instantly thought that there must be an easier way to make SuperSource layouts. If you haven't gotten your ATEM Mini Extreme yet, and you haven't tried this out yet, trust me, when you get it, you'll find that you really want to use something like this, which is more of a UI drag and drop way of designing these SuperSource layouts. So back in there again. So this is, and I thought I would just give you a little tour of it before I sent the link out so you could try it, because I don't want you getting distracted and trying it just yet. But here we have some grids on the screen here. So this is your sort of video output, your main stage, as I like to call it, and you can show those grids there. And then each of these boxes can be considered as your 4 boxes on SuperSource. So they're kind of hidden behind each other just by default, but you would drag them into the positions that you want them. I'm doing this just a little bit further away from the screen than I would like to. Actually, let me make it bigger. There we go. So I'm dragging the boxes in to the places that I want them to be, which would be roughly around there. That looks fine to me. And then I can do other things like scale the boxes. So if I want a certain look to my SuperSource, I can do that. The scaling part is not terribly, you know, much easier than it is on the ATEM software control, but it's this drag and drop stuff I think that's so much of a time saver. And I'll get to it in a minute how much time this has actually saved me. So I can crop a couple of boxes. Maybe I'll leave that one where it is and crop this one. And there you go. Within the last few minute or so, I've just created this SuperSource layout, and trust me, that would have taken a lot longer to do in the ATEM software control if you haven't tried it yourself. What I can also do here is set each of the sources. So I will set box 1 to camera 1. I'll set box 2 to camera 2. Box 3 can be I don't know. Let's just do color 1. I don't really have that many inputs here right now, so I'll just set these 2, and I'll set camera 8 on that one, which is the source you're looking at right now. Hopefully, yes, you are. Good. So that's the options so far. Maybe more to come in the future, but we'll see. And then down here, you can give it a name. So I would call it something like my 4 box macro. You know, I'll just call it 4 box. I know it's going to be too small on the screen later. 4 box, and then you can give it an index. This is something that will matter in a minute or two, and you can change this in a minute or two, but I'm just going to set it to 5 because I know that it actually should be 5, because I was doing some testing before I went live here. But you want to set an index, and I'll come back to that later. And as you can see here, now we have a full macro of all the changes that I just made. If you were to dig into it, you would see all of the box X and Y positioning for all of these boxes. What else would you see? The masks and stuff. I mean, I'm not keeping any of this secret, of course, because you have to copy and paste it in a second. But you'll see that it just kind of spits out that stuff, and it's the way you want it to be for the macro. And then you can copy that macro into your clipboard. And then I'm going to come back to me for a second, because I'm trying to remember where on my desktop all of this stuff was. I have so many windows open today to show you so many different things. Yeah, I guess I could just show you this then, which is the good old ATEM software control. And yeah, of course, you would have come into the SuperSource's SuperSource section, and did all that configuration yourself, but you ought not to anymore. This is not going to be a full tutorial, but it'll be a rough tutorial where you would just save as your settings, and I've done all that a million times before this, so I'm going to skip that for now. But the save as settings option will obviously create some sort of a file that you can edit in your favorite text editor. I'm just pulling up my favorite text editor now. I was well prepared for this, trust me, but time, as it likes to do, got the better of me. So here's my favorite text editor. Let me just silence my phone here, it's going a bit crazy. yes, my favorite text editor, which is VS Code in this case, which is a very good text editor, I think. Could be perfect for this kind of thing. I would recommend grabbing it. So I'm in VS Code, and I have my, this is the file that I saved as just a few minutes before I went live here. And I have 4 macros in there right now. Sorry, I have 5 macros in there right now because it counts from 0. So now if I go back, actually I think I already copied it. So if I just paste here, the formatting is a bit funky, but I'll fix that at some point. It's not a showstopper. But there you go. You can see index number 5, macro number 5, and it was called 4box, and I've just pasted that in there, and it's all that code you saw. And I'm going to save that. Go back to the ATEM software control, and restore that file into there. Now, let me just make sure. You know, sometimes when you open like a downloads thing on your computer, and you just have no idea what kind of crap that you might have in there. This is one of those times. So let me just restore that. Okay, you can believe me that I restored that the exact file. So now you see that again, and the only option I have right now is macros because that was the only thing in the file, but that's all I need. So I can restore that. And one of the things I was worried about was, would that affect this show or this production at all? But it seems it will not, which is good. Into macros, as you do, and I have my 4box macro there. There are easier ways to make all of this happen in the switchers, but I know that people have gotten used to this kind of macro workflow. Many people have, so I'm pretty happy with how it works right now. If I can improve it in the future, I will, but I'm pretty happy with this right now. And then I have that 4box macro. Now, I haven't set it up so I can show you that in action, but if I cut to what my SuperSource is currently showing, this is my current look on SuperSource. And then if I just recall and run that macro, actually, it's macro number 6, so I have a button on the Stream Deck, I can press that. And, or not on the Stream Deck, on the ATEM Mini Extreme. If I press that macro 6 on my ATEM Mini Extreme, potentially, there we go. So that was exactly the macro that I created in SuperSource Layout, and then I imported in there, and then now you have it, and then that's what it looked like. I'm willing to hear back from you if you find that maybe it looks like a couple of pixels off, or pixels are pretty hard to get right in that slider environment, but just if it's off a little bit, then you can let me know and I can tweak the code a little to make it better. But as far as getting pretty far, that got me pretty far, just from going into the new little app and creating that, downloading it, adding it in here. So that is option number 1, of course, where you can jump into the app yourself, and I can just show it to you again, just so you get to have another little look at it. The SuperSource layouts, where you can drag it all in there, and I have at the bottom written in a few issues, where I'll keep that up to date with some issues that might be fixed over time, and a few planned features I have, things like being able to bring that macro back in again here, because actually if I just refresh this page, every time you come to this page, you will see that it goes back to this default setting. So maybe being able to import a macro and change it. I would like to add other things like other macro features and support for other ATEMs. I would love to take a look at animations too. I don't think I'll be so quick to do that. I'm more keen on fixing all the issues that people see, and I already see some questions coming up in the chat here about other ideas and things. So so we'll see what kind of stuff I can add over time. But that brings me to your next option, which is maybe you don't want to create all these layouts. And I have to say, this has been, it's taken me a while to code up this this little app, but it has almost taken me just as long to code up these funky little, I'm just trying to get it up here, that's why I'm stalling. I'm not really stalling, I'm just trying to get the all the links up. Like I said, so many different things open here. And a big thanks to, oh, this is going to be a tough one. I really like to pronounce people's names better, but this time, oh, I almost stopped streaming there. Oh, that's the wrong one. I'm all over the place now. Yeah, there we go. Thank you for your super chat. Really nice of you. Schlocker Compo. Maybe that was pretty good. Maybe not. Appreciate your hard work, and I appreciate your super chat to the channel. It does really help create these kind of things, and it's always appreciated to see the support. And another way that folks can support if they want to, there's a link on that on the H2R SuperSource Layouts page that brings you to this Gumroad, which is like a place you can buy things and sell things and all that stuff. And I've created 100+ layouts. 100+. I had a target. I set myself a target of doing 100 layouts. And the reason it's 100+ is because I didn't stop myself when I got to 100. I got a little bit excited and I continued past the 100. So there's actually 117 right now, which is way more than I thought I would make. And who knows, maybe I'll try to make more again in the future, but this was an unbelievable amount of work. And thanks to, let me show that to Marlon for the super chat as well. You don't, is that a question? Let me just make sure. You don't have to change your background 4 boxes in your layout. It only shows 4 boxes, but not the background itself. Yes, I guess this is a question and a planned update. And I think I wrote that in the planned features, which was the ability to add a background or a foreground and also set the background to something in the media pool or the foreground and change all those settings. So trust me, this project, the idea of it started like 2 weeks ago, and it's been a crazy evening / weekend project to get it to the point where it is right now and making it fairly stable. And I'm appreciative of the people over on Discord who've helped me test it out and try it out, and I've tested out and tried it out as much as I could as well. And I know there's things in there you might find that need improvements, and I'm happy to change those if I find them and can tweak them. So that's great stuff to have feedback on. But yeah, any feature you're thinking about, I probably already have on a list somewhere, but that shouldn't stop you from sending them my way. So that brings me back to what I was showing there, which was the H2R SuperSource Layouts. So this is really interesting. During the show already, I've gotten a bunch of emails from people who've already bought it, which is really appreciative. I've set a price of €5, and that's probably around €5 plus any taxes or whatever you pay in your area. But you can set whatever price you want in there. And what you get with this is the 117 XML files that I've created. So what you just saw there, I've created files for all of the 117 layouts. And you also get this reference PDF because I wanted to make it easy for you to find your way around. So what you see in here is all 117 layouts organized into sort of chapters, as it were, which is things like chapter 6, 3 small, 1 big. So for example, I'm going to show you this page, and you can see here, it maybe isn't coming out completely, but the original screen is over here somewhere. And then you have this layout, and this one, and this one, and this one. So you might say, oh, I quite like that one. I'm gonna keep an eye on C628. And then over in the, let me bring this over as well. This is also part of the download. You get C6, and you get all the XML files for that macro. And you go to number 28, and then in there is the exact same thing, where I've just basically, and trust me, this took me all day yesterday just to create the XML files. Never mind designing all of these in a design tool and stuff. This was more work than I thought it would be at first. I don't know why I said 100. For some reason, that was the number that landed. So yes, of course, without much more chit chat, I am going to share a link in the chat here. h2r.li/layouts should take you there. If I broke that link, you can let me know. But that will bring you to the layouts page, and you just bookmark that link. Excuse me, I'm just going to drink some water here. It's not a download or anything like that. It's just it's a web app, so you can just use it on the web. And I saw someone else, Pete, appreciate it big time. Cheers for all your work on this and H2R gear. Yes, we'll talk about H2R gear in a future live stream for sure. I haven't even made an announcement video on that yet. But you might have saw that pop up on my video the other day on the 2 HDMI outputs on the ATEM Mini Extreme. But yeah, thank you, Pete. I really appreciate it. Pete is over on the Discord, and he's has been helping me an awful lot with all sorts of stuff. So I really appreciate that. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it a lot. So you have the link now. The link works. Someone says, Chuck says the link works. That's what I want to hear. Excellent. So you have the link. You can, like I said, keep a copy of it for yourself. The link's not going to change. That short link will redirect you to layouts.heretorecord.com, or you can try it out, give it a go, send me an email. I don't think I put my email on there just yet, but you know how to find me from the website and all that stuff. So send me an email if you find any issues along the way with the app, application, web app, whatever the word is. And then there is a link below this video, but I also wanted to share the link to the H2R Layouts pack, which is that 117 monster of a project with 117 XML files and the reference PDF that I've poured so much time into this weekend. It was a pleasure, of course. I really like doing this stuff. But if you saw me the other day, I was in a notepad back there with pencils and coloring in pencils, coming up with designs for what kind of layouts you could have and all that stuff. And then I rebuilt everything back in a design tool, which is what you see in the PDF. And then I rebuilt everything again in the web app as well, so I could download the macros. I could have definitely sped up that process, but I really liked the look of the design tool, and I really liked being able to use the web app. And it taught me a lot of things, and it made me add a lot of things to the to-do list. That list got very long as I used it myself. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the list has gotten longer and longer from the start of this chat here. I see some people commenting on maybe some issues they might have saw along the way, some people with ideas. I did want to check back in again just from the start and say hello to people. Thank you for joining from all over the world. I really appreciate coming in here, spending your Monday morning, evening, night chatting with me and telling me, you know, what I'm working on. And Ryan Stills only, never mind, you can ignore that. That was an answer to a question. So with 8 minutes to go of the real show, I'm going to take some questions, and I saw some pop in there to see if there's any issues or questions that popped up immediately on this. And then stick around for the post-show that you can only watch live if you're not a member, but you can stick around for the post-show live today while you're here, and we can chat about more questions and answers and things like that. This is not a question, but Joe says, great timing. I got an ATEM Mini Extreme ISO today. I'm keen for SuperSource feature, which you are experimenting with right now. Very cool. That was basically the first thing I tried out. It was a really nice feature to see in such a small device. Pretty exciting. And I have a video specifically about the ATEM Mini Extreme SuperSource coming out at some point this week, but I really wanted to release this little project just before that, so that's why I wanted to do it today. Let me see, scrolling down, and here's Sig saying you're getting your ATEM ISO tomorrow. A lot of people are getting them, it seems. They're definitely coming in really fast at the minute, which is really cool. And yeah, Chuck, you said you just bought the layout pack. Thanks so much. Thank you for anyone who buys it, of course. Like I said, it's a ton of work, but it's also a great way to support the channel if you want to. And it's you will probably find yourself wanting to use SuperSource, but you can't quite think of some ideas. And I think I've hopefully helped you, even if you just want the PDF for inspiration and grab the odd one and then you change it from there and do whatever you want, then do that. Because I just wanted to throw in loads of ideas, and hopefully I can come up with some more ideas as the time goes on. So thanks for that. Amazing tool, thanks. Any ruler or grid locks for alignment? There is actually, if you play with it, you will notice that it's not smooth completely. There is a grid lock, but it's a very subtle one. And I do plan on adding a more tight one so you can only move at larger increments. And there's no external lock, so there used to be a lock on the outer frame, but I found that whenever you cropped it, you really wanted to move it maybe off to the side, so I took that away again. But I will clean up the UI a little bit just to make that a little bit better. And you may hear, if you have a keen ear, you may hear the rain coming down on my roof now, so apologies if the sound gets a little bit noisy in the background. Let me see, some more questions. Great to see. And I just got a new member on the channel as well. Matthew, thanks for joining the channel. Now I wonder, I've never actually... H2R Graphics has not previously shown a new member thing, but well, that looks okay. Matthew Hand, new member, welcome Matthew Hand. Could probably improve that a bit more, but I've never actually tried it out with members before. So you can jump in and become a member on the channel for sure. It's really nice to have your support in many different ways. I do appreciate it a lot. I'm just scrolling for some more questions, and yes, there are definitely many other ways these days to get SuperSource things going. I know Doug over at Doug Johnson Productions, he's been doing SuperSource macros for a long time, and he has a huge big pack, and they are animated with just macros. And I know the A to Z Productions people, they have their pack as well. So there are many different ways to get SuperSource macros these days, but I'm quite excited to have my own pack and version and sort of vision for the project. Loads of things I really want to add to it, just like many of the other development projects that are currently ongoing. Let's see. I'll maybe answer some questions in the after post show that are specifically about other topics. Yeah, I think I covered this already, Marlon. Oh, actually, I did, because you came in with a super chat, if I'm not mistaken, but your layouts didn't show how to change the background either by a color. Yep, that's something I definitely want to add. It's just I set myself a bit of a time frame of releasing this project before I release a video about SuperSource, and I thought the time was right, so I wanted to get it out there, make features, and have people suggest features and go from there. So hope that makes sense. Yes, rectangles. Oh, don't know what happened there. Graham says, oh, I guess you were answering someone else. But anyway, rectangles only. So you could, as far as unless I'm mistaken, the only way to do SuperSource is with rectangles and then a graphic over top to turn it into a circle. So unless I'm mistaken, I can be wrong about that, but I will add that, where you add a PNG or something similar on top with cutouts, and then you can go from there. And yes, a local buddy from Malma Motion Pictures also became a member. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's pretty cool. Somebody who I've always intended to meet up with and chat with in real life, but it never happened, and then things got harder and harder to meet up. But someday we will. We could talk about all things SuperSource for sure. I'm just scrolling around. A similar question, can you change the red background? Yeah, the red background is just what was in my media pool, but a cool feature. I really want to add that. And I will make a specific video about how to use the download pack as well, if anybody wants to watch that after they've... I guess a lot of people know how to do the macro stuff, but it could be good to have that tutorial as well. If you've already bought the pack, my apologies. It took longer to make all of these than I thought, so I wanted to make that tutorial video already, but I haven't quite finished it yet. So if you have any problems with the pack, then you know to come straight to me via email, and we will sort it out for sure. And you said it's a username, so I'll just skip the name. Where can I download the app? Well, the app is actually a web app, and you had the link now, and there it was, h2r.li/layouts or layouts.heretorecord.com. Yeah, that's it. And it works great, people are saying. And yes, have ordered. I'm not sure what that meant that you ordered, but you ordered something. Hopefully it was the layouts pack, which can be found in that link over there. And thanks for the awesome work. I really appreciate it. And Jonas says, I don't know how you're that productive. Trust me, I personally feel like I have this much time and I have this much to do. So the reason that it doesn't have all these features is because I didn't have enough time to be that productive. But more to come, I'm certain of that. And Malma Motion Pictures, you said you bought the pack, which is excellent. I had to, like I said, I had to silence my phone because I was getting emails about fine folks buying the pack, which is really appreciative. I will follow up with that afterwards and see how it's going for people. It's really cool. I really appreciate it. Great job. Thank you so much. And yes, this is, well, correct. There's no SuperSource on a Television Studio Pro HD, unfortunately. You have to either go for the Mini Extremes or the ATEM higher models as well. And I think there's like 2 on the Constellation, unless I'm mistaken. That's pretty cool. And today you got your ATEM Mini Extreme ISO, so you know what to do today. Play with this product for sure, right? This is not so good news. You're still waiting on your ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. It's unfortunate. Chuck, you'll have to let me know. Will these work with the regular ATEM 2ME? I haven't tested that. I tried to grab a macro off that, but I didn't have access to one. So you can let me know if it doesn't work. I just want to make 100% clear that you buying the pack. This has nothing to do with that question. It came into my head. Buying the layouts pack is for the macros and the inspiration, for sure. It's not for extra access to the layouts application, which is its own separate thing. So the layout application is for making your own, but it will take you a while maybe to make some. And then if you just want to skip making them and buy the pack, then go for that. I just wanted to make that clear that there's no pro feature over here that will unlock by buying this. I think that makes sense. And another new member popped in, which is really cool. Thank you so much. You can tell me how to pronounce your name afterwards. I'm guessing Mehdi, if I didn't say it the wrong way. But Mehdi, I appreciate it. Welcome to the membership. Really cool. Members get to watch the post show on demand, so you can always watch it again tomorrow if you want to. I like it. Let me see. Now the 30-minute showtime has went incredibly fast, which is really great. If you want to find me on other places, if you want to become a member, you can click the join button below. I just saw somebody ask that to get perks like certain member levels will get certain perks. So there's all the details are on the join button below. And then if you want to find me on Discord, you can do that. There's a link below this video. Loads of people joined from the other day when I mentioned H2R gear, and you're welcome to join in there and ask questions about this. There's a channel specifically about this project, which is kind of in its early days, so now's the time to get in there and ask questions. Otherwise, if you want to stick around live, I am more than happy to have you join me in a few seconds. This time I'm going to crack open a beer and celebrate the launch of this new project. And I really appreciate you stopping by and asking questions. I'm going to answer more questions in the post show, but that is the show for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. All the best. Bye-bye.